to call the public hearing meeting to order. And I would like a motion, please, to adopt the agenda. Blanchette and Torgerson. Is there any discussion or amendment or question? Yes?
I'd just like to bring Council's attention to the piece of paper that I distributed a few minutes ago. It includes some preliminary comments from the Valemount Fire Rescue Department regarding the rezoning and development proposal for 202 Ash Street. When I present my comments, I will read this into the record.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 3.1. We have a public hearing for Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015. I'll do the public hearing statement. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to Section 890 of the Local Government Act in order to consider Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015. At this public hearing, any person present who believes that his or her interest in property may be affected by Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015, shall be given an opportunity to be heard on the matters contained in the proposed bylaw. However, it is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw, and it is my responsibility as chairperson of this meeting to ensure that all remarks are so restricted. Those of you who wish to speak concerning Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015, should, at the appropriate time, commence your address to the council and meeting by clearly stating your name and address. Then you may give us the benefit of your views concerning the proposed temporary use permit. Members of council may, if they so wish, ask questions of you following your presentation. However, the main function of the council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of council at this public hearing to debate the merits of Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2000, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015. Everyone who deems his or her interest in property to be affected shall be given the opportunity to be heard at this meeting. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making his or her views known. After this public hearing has concluded, council may, without further notice, give whatever effect council believes proper to the representation made at this hearing. During the course of a public hearing, people sometimes tend to become enthusiastic or emotional. Regardless of whether you favor or oppose any particular application or argument, please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion. Restraint enables others whose views may or may not coincide with your own to exercise their right to express their views, and enables all views expressed to be heard in an impartial as a forum as possible.
Good evening, Mayor Townsend, members of council, members of the public. I'm Andrew Young. I'm the village's corporate officer and planner. I'm going to provide a public hearing brief for your benefit. The name of the applicant is Shirley Sanders. She's acting as the agent on behalf of the numbered company 1851020 Alberta Limited, who we will refer to as the owner of the subject property. What we have here is an application seeking council's approval of Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744 to rezone two sites within the 22.25 hectare or 55 acre property located at 202 Ash Street. I won't provide you with the entire legal description. It's rather lengthy. We'll just refer to it now as the subject property. So the purpose then again is to rezone two sites within the subject property from residential 1 or R1 zone to high density residential R5 zone in order to support future residential development. The owner's agent has submitted an application to rezone a portion of the subject property, as I mentioned, under Valemount's official community plan, or OCP. The primary land use designation of the subject property is low-density residential. However, provision has been made within the OCP for some multiple family residential development in the area next to Ash Street. I need to emphasize this. This is next to Ash Street. The OCP states that where rezoning is required, the following criteria are to be considered when evaluating multiple family residential proposals. Not centrally located in the midst of a predominantly low-density residential area. Locations on the periphery of such areas is preferable. 2, located on streets with higher traffic usage, for example, Ash Street. 3, served by community water and sanitary sewer systems, which do exist in the Ash Street right-of-way. 4, close to parks, schools, and other community services and amenities. And for example, there is the Valemount High School located nearby, and there are some other community services and amenities as well. The proposed rezoning of the 2 sites meets these criteria. The proposed rezoning would help to facilitate future development of the 2 sites and prospectively in future other parts of the subject property. It would also promote new high-density development in Valemount, attract investment to Valemount, and broaden the village's tax base. The owner of the subject property has agreed to provide the village with a written agreement prior to final approval of bylaw number 744 to dedicate critical road infrastructure to the village of Valemount as a condition for future subdivision approval for the 2 sites. The recommendation is that Council, subject to any comments received during the public hearing, gives third reading to Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015. We have received, as I mentioned earlier, one written submission, and in this particular case, it's comments from the Valemount Fire Rescue Department regarding rezoning and development proposal at 202 Ash Street. In regards to this proposal, from both a fire department and a building fire inspector's perspective, high-density residential housing can create challenges for a volunteer fire department in the event of a fire incident. Although not mandatory, the installation of an interior fire suppression system, for example sprinklers, is encouraged as they quickly reduce or eliminate fire spread, which is a critical factor for the responding fire department and the occupants inside. Sprinkler systems are a benefit to the tenants, property owners, developers, adjacent properties, and of course, the fire department. I hope the proponents consider this in the planning stages of this development. And that concludes the remarks. We've received no other written submissions.
At this time, is there anyone in the public that wishes to make comments regarding the Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 744, 2015? This will be the time to comment. Okay. Are there any comments, or does anyone wish to make a statement of any kind? Oh, that's 3 times. Okay.
Once more for good luck.
No, I'm sure. Okay. So, hearing none, we will go on to adjournment. Councillor Torgerson. Okay, move to adjourn. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. I would like a motion, please, to adopt the agenda. Torgerson and Salt. Any additions or amendments to it? Torgerson, Council? Councillor?
Yes. In the monthly staff report, the feature of the month snow clearing, it states in November 2015, Valemount saw a record-breaking snowfall. I believe that's November 2014.
Okay. Okay.
We had very little snow in November 2015.
Well, my driveway was plowed 3 times, Councillor, in November of this year. Okay. All right, so we can amend that. If there's nothing further, all in favor? Adoption of the minutes of the November 24th, 2015 regular meeting of council. Salt and Blanchette. Are there any errors or omissions?
I couldn't find any, but that doesn't mean anything.
No errors or omissions? Okay. I would just like to refer to 42315 and with respect to the emergency discussions that took place at the Public Works Committee. Councillor Torgerson is also a member of the emergency planning, and there was a lot of good discussion there. I don't think that it should be totally eliminated, and perhaps we can deal with this later, because there were significant responders here who discussed it well.
Department heads?
Yes, that's right. So I should like to see that made note of, okay, and put in, yes.
If I may, we will actually be following up with the emergency responders in the new year as well.
Good. Okay. Okay, so all in favor then of adoption of the minutes? Carried. Agenda item 3.4, reporting out from the minutes of the August 25th, 2015 in-camera meeting.
You missed one.
Did I miss one?
November 30th.
Oh, okay. 3.2, adoption of the minutes of the November 30th, 2015 special meeting. Motion to adopt, okay, Blanchette and Torgerson. Any errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Adoption of 3.3, adoption of the minutes of the August 24th, 2015 special council meeting. Okay, Reimer and Blanchette. Any errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 3.4, reporting out from the minutes of the August 25th, 2015 in-camera meeting of council. There is no resolution required. It's just reported out. Items 1 and 2, with respect to the contract given for the Cranberry Marsh Trail Boardwalk. Agenda item 7. The reading file. Is there anything that council wishes to bring forward from the reading file? Councillor Blanchette.
I'd like to bring Corey Marshall's letter out. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Corey, for writing it wherever you are. I know it's...
This is a meeting of council. You do not address anybody.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was wondering if this letter could come forward when we're addressing that issue, because there were some issues in her letter that we may want to discuss when it's on the agenda.
Okay, so you want to make a motion then that this is referred to the
Next agenda.
Next agenda when we're discussing that particular issue.
Yes, please.
Okay, so moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Salt, that item 7.3, comments by Corey Marshall, re-proposed changes to council procedure bylaw number 652/2010 be brought forward to that discussion. Is there any discussion? Councillor Torgerson?
Within that letter, Ms. Marshall made reference to perhaps technological limitations. And I had staff look into our existing system versus the upgraded system. And I'm completely satisfied that the newer system will be able to accommodate that should or if we have that proposed change.
Okay. And Mr. Wiesner, do you want to speak to this that was brought forward by Mr. Gusenberg?
I got a copy for everyone.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want me to read it or it addresses the
I can summarize.
Okay.
The last system, quite aged, was generously funded by the Columbia Basin Trust. Needed its own dedicated IP address versus the newer system And the older system didn't work with laptops, tablets, or smartphones. It only worked with what we have here in the system, or in the council chambers. This newer system will work with laptops, tablets, and smartphones, and absent council members will be able to use things like Skype. And then further discussion with Valemount Community Television was that they'll be able to, using a line out from the computer, the session can also be connected to VCTV's sound mixer, which is used by VCTV to present our council meetings to the public.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Is there anything else that council wishes to bring forward from the reading file? I should just like to comment on the North Central Local Government Association resolutions package. I do have several resolutions that I will put memos forward for council's information, and then we can formulate it into a proper resolution format. Okay? But that will be done in the new year. Anything further, council? Okay. We'll go on to administrative reports. Valemount Age-Friendly Assessment and Action Plan Report, November 2015 by Cardia Health Consulting. Recommendation is to receive the report. Moved by Councillor Blanchette and seconded by Councillor Salt, that the Valemount Age-Friendly Assessment and Action Plan Report be received. And 2, considers the findings of the Valemount Age-Friendly Assessment and Action Plan Report in the Village of Valemount's 2016 budget deliberations. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I should like to comment that I started a list. I think there should be a select committee established, or a task force made up of some of the longtime residents of Valemount, and so that they can list the needs and the issues that they face. We have former councillors, a few of them, who are 55 plus, and I think they would make a very interesting and exciting committee, you know, to come up with a recommendation. Okay, Councillor Torgerson.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Thank you. Okay, I have my list at home if you want to, if you're interested to see the names that are on it.
I could probably guess.
Yes, you probably can. Okay. So if there's no further comments here, all in favor? Carried. Monthly staff report for December 2015. Staff recommendation is that council accepts the November to December 2015 staff report for information purposes. Moved by Councillor Torgerson and seconded by Councillor Reimer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Bylaws and policies, 10.1, Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610-2007, amendment bylaw number 744-2015, rezoning application for 2 sites located at 202 Ash Street. The recommendation is that council, subject to the comments received at the public hearing, which there were none, gives 3rd reading to the Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610-2007, amendment bylaw number 744-2015. Motion, Torgerson and Blanchette, to give a 3rd reading. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 10.2, Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610-2007, amendment bylaw number 748-2015, rezoning of a portion of Block C of the northeast quarter of District Lot 7354 Caribou District, except Plan 27338. And the staff recommendation is that council supports amending the Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610 as amended by rezoning that portion of Block C of the northeast quarter of District Lot 7354 Caribou District, except Plan 27338, shown outline on attachment number 2 of this report from Highway Tourist Commercial C4 zone to Rural Residential 1 zone, and B, changing the minimum parcel area for lots west of Highway number 5 in Part B of Section 5.4 regulations in the Rural Residential 1 zone from 1.6 hectares to 1 hectare. And for those who aren't familiar, 1 hectare is 2.42 or 2.44 acres.
2.47.
107.
Oh, is it 2.47 now? Oh, it's changed. All right, so, and gives first and second reading to the Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610. And 3, refers Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 748, 2015 to an upcoming public hearing, subject to the conditions outlined in this report. Or, what is council's wish? Torgerson and Salt.
I move that council supports 1, 2, and 3.
Okay,
Second.
I already did.
second by Councillor Salt. All right, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 10.3, Village of Valemount fees and charges, amendment bylaw number 745, 2015. That council approves third reading to Village of Valemount fees and charges amendment bylaw number 745. Okay, Blanchette and Torgerson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 10.4, Village of Valemount Council remuneration. That council approves first and second reading of Village of Valemount Council remuneration bylaw 747, 2015, with 1, the removal of section 9.2 and an adjustment to the current remuneration amounts to including an averaging COLA of 2%, or removal of section 9.2 and an adjustment to the current remuneration. What is council's wish?
Next page as well.
Oh, next page too? Okay. Okay. Remuneration. Amounts to be determined by council. Amount to be included with resolution, or removal of section 9.2 with the remuneration amounts remaining at the 2015 amounts. What is council's wish?
I have a question.
Yes?
Why are we removing 9.2? The part that says, you know, we need to submit a written report when we travel?
I think perhaps that was with respect to lengthy reports,
Okay.
and maybe they could just be verbal.
Okay, because I sort of like, I mean, when I'm attending a certain meeting that another councillor can't, then my report sort of goes to everybody the same coming back. I sort of, you know, and it's transparent, and this is what we did with the taxpayers' money, this is what we attended, this is what we brought back. I'm just wondering if it should be something that it really is removed.
Well, perhaps it could be abbreviated somewhat. Okay, yes?
Your Worship, I was kind of suggested that it be removed. I've never seen anything quite that detailed. I think the main thing is that you get the motion on every time and get approval to go to a function, and then you're always subject to having it reviewed. But to include it in an agenda package, like you had the UBCM convention, it took half the package was these receipts. So, and it's not required for staff. So I think that what's good for the goose is good for the gander, kind of. Okay. So that's why I think that and then it's always the citizen, or if one comes in or he wants to check it, it's transparent and open. But I think that it's an overkill by having all those receipts in agenda package.
Okay, yeah.
So I just kind of initiated having that. I thought when I saw it at your UBCM convention, this was definitely overkill.
And it's not a requirement of the community charter, and sitting on other boards, they don't require that either. If there is anything that is unique, anything that is of special interest, that should be reported. But just to give, Okay. Councillor Saul.
I know I've had a lot of public members express their appreciation for being able to see what was attended, and appreciation to see the costs of sending council to these things. So I don't know if I'd like to completely eliminate it, but like you say, if we could still submit something, at least for transparency.
And Councillor, everything is transparent in the reporting of the budgets. There is transparency there.
I'm not saying there isn't. I think it's just, I've gotten where people have said that they appreciate being able to see, you know, what was spent and, you know, oh, you carpooled, great. What events did you attend? What workshops did you attend? It's there in the agenda for them to look at at their leisure and their convenience, not a verbal report that might not capture everything. So that's just my feedback on what I've received from the public.
That's unusual. I've never had anybody comment. Yeah. They're more interested in what was decided at these meetings, like for instance, the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association. What is the ultimate benefit for us? Yes. Yeah. Mr.
Your Worship, one thing too that I think is really important at the year end, and I've always seen it, that you have to report the total cost, your total travel, total education, whatever, and so it's a really good, and that's a good test then to, if you looked at one council, looks like it's really high, I would, as a citizen, you can come in and see what happened there, why is it so high? So there's that, I found that in my experience anywhere, where people watch, and for staff, you know, we have to report, but I think anyone over a certain salary, I forget now, I'm a little out of date, but we have to show what the staff were and what they spend on their expenses on going to courses or conventions or whatever. So I think that's really important, and it's usually put in the, we always put it in the paper so everyone would see that, and then they would, if you saw someone that really spends a lot every year, you know, then I think that's a good test.
Yeah. It has been my experience that people are more interested in the annual report and what the total expenditure was, not individual trips. They want to see the total of what was expended. And that's always in the annual report, completely. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Do we have a mover and a shaker yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So can I have a motion, please, to whatever council's wish is. The recommendation is that council approves first and second reading of the Village of Valemount Council Remuneration Bylaw. I'll point out that there was no COLA increase in January 1st of 2015, and it was my recommendation that we were all brand new, except for the 2 returning councillors. But it's up to you if you want to take the COLA clause so that you're not losing anything. Councillor Reimer.
I'll make the motion that we, for number 1, that we remove section 9.2 and do the adjustment to the current remuneration amount to include an average COLA of 2%.
Okay, seconder? Councillor Torgerson. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Appointments to standing committees. I'm looking for my copy. I put it in a safe place. I have another copy here.
Easier to read.
Okay, thank you. The appointments to the standing committees for the year 2015 to 2016.
Typo.
A typo, I see. I have Councillor Hollie Blanchette to be appointed to the Columbia Basin Trust Community Initiatives and Affected Areas Program. I have Councillors Owen, Torgerson and Sandy Salt to be appointed to the Emergency Committee. Councillors Owen, Torgerson and Peter Reimer to be appointed to the Public Works and Traffic Committee. Councillors Owen, Torgerson and Sandy Salt as an alternative, okay, to be appointed to the Tourism Committee. And the recommendation is that council approves the 2015 to 16 appointments of council members to the standing committees identified above and Mayor Townsend as ex officio member to same. Okay, Torgerson and Salt. Any questions? Everybody's happy, all in favor? Carried. Appointments to select committees for 2015 and 16. I have Councillor Peter Reimer to be appointed to the Valemount Museum Building Committee. And I shall serve on that as ex officio. 12.1. Motion by Blanchette and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. Appointments to external boards. 13.1. And that's Mayor Jeannette Townsend to be appointed to the Regional District Fraser Fort George Board of Directors, and Councillor Peter Reimer to be appointed as alternate. Councillor Owen Torgerson to be appointed to the Valemount Mountain Area Recreation Development Association Board of Directors. Councillors Reimer and Torgerson to be appointed to the Valemount Community Forest Board of Directors. Councillor Salt to be appointed to the Prince George Treaty Advisory Committee. You'll be able to attend those, okay? And Mayor Jeannette Townsend be appointed to the Robson Valley Region Marketing Initiative Steering Committee. Councillor Hollie Blanchette be appointed as liaison to the Valemount Chamber of Commerce. Councillor Peter Reimer be appointed as liaison to Valemount Community Television. Councillor Salt and Mayor Townsend be appointed as liaison and alternate liaison respectively to the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association. Councillor Salt be appointed as liaison to the Municipal Finance Authority. Councillor Reimer and Mayor Townsend be appointed as liaison and alternate liaison respectively to the Municipal Insurance Association of BC. Councillor Hollie Blanchette be appointed as the local health liaison. And Councillor Hollie Blanchette be appointed as liaison to the Canoe Valley Recreation Committee. And Councillor Blanchette again to be appointed as liaison to the Robson Valley Support Society Board of Directors. The recommendation is that Council approves the appointments of council members to the external boards, committees, and agencies identified above.
Just have a question.
Yes.
I am a member of the chamber. Is that cause an issue?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. And that, it frees up, I did remove some committees, if you've noticed, because there were no meetings this past year, like the Community Foundation. I would prefer to have, if there's an issue that comes forward or a request, I would sooner have all of council deal with it instead of just one or two. Okay? And I thought there were too many committees anyway. So I didn't mention anything here about the Columbia Basin Trust or the Columbia Basin Regional Advisory Council, nor the local government on Columbia Basin or anything else, because those are all provincial ministry appointments. They're not appointments made from here. Okay? So, could I have a motion, please, to approve Torgerson and Blanchette? Any discussion? Everybody's happy? Good. All in favor? Carried. Yes?
Yeah, I get my list back.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. And a motion, please, to reaffirm the appointment of auditors, KPMG as the auditors for the Village of Valemount. Reimer and Blanchette. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Appointment of deputy mayors. I always started in the month of January. We're now doing it in December. Nope, I don't need that. Okay. I've got mine, thank you. So December 2015, commencing with Councillor Blanchette and so on. You see them all here. Could I have a motion to approve? Torgerson and Blanchette. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 16.1, proposed regular council meeting schedule for the period of December 8, 2015 through December 13, 2016. Recommendation that council approves the proposed regular council meeting schedule for the period of December 8, 2015 through December 13, 2016. Torgerson and Salt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Council reports. I'll start with Councillor Torgerson. I'll go backwards this time.
Okay. Since our last meeting, on the 30th, I attended a special meeting here, and then a tourism Valemount. No, not on the 1st. No, I missed that one. The rural education strategic outlook for the on the 30th for the school district 57. A public works committee meeting on the. No, that's today. That's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Salt.
Community forest.
Just like Councillor Torgerson, a special meeting on the 30th. And on the 1st of December, Historic Society Board meeting. And, well, that one got canceled. So tonight, so that was it.
Good. Thank you. Councillor Reimer.
November 30th, special council meeting. And December 1st, special VCF meeting. And I would say that my colleague across the aisle was also at that meeting. And my biggest fear is that I would do what he just did and forget where I'm at a certain point in time.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Blanchette.
Well, on the 26th, I had a chamber meeting that Councillor Torgerson wasn't able to attend. I just wanted to give a quick talk about the Shop Local program that the chamber's starting in January. And it's a local initiative. We've had local business people give us their $10 worth of information so we can put together a really great package. So look for the signs in the businesses, and we'll see how it goes. It's a trial run. On the 30th, I had a council meeting, and then the 7th, I had a child and youth mental health and substance abuse collaborative meeting. And I just want to read out what the purpose of the collaborative is, because it's a new initiative that the clinic's doing, and it's fantastic, because it's also working with other northern communities that have already started this, so it's not reinventing the wheel. Everybody gets information from everybody to figure out how we move forward. So the purpose of the collaborative is the Child and Youth Mental Health and Substance Abuse Use Collaborative is a provincial initiative aiming to increase the number of children, youth, and their families receiving timely access to integrated mental health and substance use services. Dr. Cater and I are co-chairs on that committee right now, and a good board sitting there, and it's really actually quite exciting because we've got the power of all of the communities in the north pushing. So
Thank you, Councillor. Okay. I want to commence my brief report with acknowledging that Area H Director Danielle Allen, Regional District Fraser Fort George, is present with us again this evening, and she too attended the Rural Education Strategy meeting here in Valemount last Monday, and I understand that you also attended the one in McBride. You're a busy, very busy director. I appreciate your attendance here at our council meetings, and I'm sure that there were a lot of good ideas come forward from there, and I've already been in touch, Ms. Allen, with TELUS about the difference between, they've only got 1/3 the internet service here that McBride has. And yeah, we're working on it, so that's good. Well, I think you've all heard about my attempt to attend the board meeting of Columbia Basin Trust in Castlegar and sat in the Vancouver airport for 9 hours and didn't get there. However, I did attend on the second day by teleconference from the hotel in Prince George. And I have also met with some local citizens who have plans for and proposals for future development, which are really exciting, but not quite ready to bring forward. I've mentioned a little bit to our planner, and we have to wait for permission from a person who was born and raised here for some plans that they've got, which is going to be very good for Valemount. So that's good. And I would like a recommendation, please, that council receives the verbal reports provided. And Reimer and Blanchette, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Okay, list of outstanding council resolutions, 19.1. Recommendation that council accepts the list of outstanding previous council resolutions, Blanchette and Salt. Any discussion? Nope, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Calendar of events, no motion required. The floor is open now for public comment. Mr. Peterson, you wanted to address?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you for the council meeting, Madam Mayor, or your worship.
Yeah.
How's that?
Your worship is what my husband used to say. Worship. Not worship, but worship.
Well, I'm with Ron. What I wrote a letter to the council about was utility bills that are being charged for vacant lots. And I'm thinking that for vacant lots, it's a service not provided, and it shouldn't be charged. And I've heard a lot of comment on vacant lots being charged. I'm not going to pay my taxes, but the village has a right to charge regardless. But I would like for the council to maybe look at this again and address it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Does anybody else have any comments at this time? Okay. Does council have any remarks that should be made or you want to make to Mr. Peterson at this time? No, hearing none. All I can say, Mr. Peterson, is that we'll look at it again in the new year. Okay?
Thank you very
I understand that the Public Works Committee has looked at it, and I know that there are a number of dissatisfied citizens, and we can look at it again and see.
Your worship, there is a study coming forward on that.
Okay. Cost of services study. Mr. Wiesner says that there is a cost of services study in the works, and that a report will be...
I'm not sure. I think early in the year.
Yes, Councillor Torgerson?
If not late December, then, as Mr. Wiesner says, very early 2016, that report is due out.
Okay. So our meeting is January the 12th, 2016?
Yes.
Will it be ready then, or?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay.
Hopefully it will be.
Okay. Well, it's over Christmas and New Year's and things get delayed.
When that contract was awarded and then a follow-up done from the proponent, it was in their plans to have it here to us before the new year, but we'll see.
Okay.
It's a rate of services cost study. And
so we will bring that forward to your attention and the other citizens. Once that report is complete, we'll schedule a meeting.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any further comments from the public? Hearing none. Motion please to receive the public comments. Blanchette and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. I have a motion now to proceed to an in-camera meeting. Recommendation that council proceed to an in-camera council meeting for consideration of one item for section 91G and or K of the community charter to discuss matters related to litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality and or negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages and that in the view of council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. Motion please. Salt and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. Good.